I'm 45 years old and starting a YouTube channel when some of the biggest names on YouTube are quitting. Do they know something I don't know? Should I stop before I mess this up? Recently, I had this eureka moment while watching videos from seemingly unknown content creators. I've been noticing a shift in YouTube, but I couldn't put my finger on it until now. YouTube is changing and content creators and viewers of all ages will be impacted. Starting a YouTube channel in your 20s, it's like a rite of passage. You're expected to do it. And then when you turn 30, you feel old. So then you go create a video saying all the regrets I had in my 20s, which is great. The best way to learn is to hear from others who've been through your path before. What if you're in your 40s though? Who are you more likely to listen to? Someone who's had a marriage, is currently raising a family, going through the similar struggles and that only they can understand. In this video, I'll share 3 changes that will likely define the next wave of content and how creators can get ahead. Number 1, make me the hero. Can the viewer see themselves in the story? One of my favorite things seeing content creators on YouTube in boring niches make interesting videos through the use of storytelling. The main thing to keep in mind is to make the viewer feel like they're the hero in the story. Tell the story so that they can see themselves in it. A great example of making the audience feel like the hero in the story was the Dan plan. Dan, he quit his job in early 2010, and he wanted to practice the game of golf for 10,000 hours and with 0 previous experience. It's a project in transformation, he said, an experiment in potential and possibilities. Through 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, Dan, who currently has minimal golf experience, plans on becoming a professional golfer. But the plan really isn't about golf. Through this process, Dan hopes to prove to himself and to others that anything's possible in life and it's never too late to start a new pursuit. For myself and thousands of other aspiring professional golfers, we could see ourselves in Dan's shoes. We wanted to be him. And what's funny about it is we were rooting so hard for him to accomplish his goals that it was really us that wanted it. And that's how you need to make people feel when you tell these stories, when you create these journeys for people to either learn about something new or you're entertaining them. You need to make them feel like they're the hero in the story. So are you wondering if Dan finished that 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, going on to play on professional golf, PGA Tour, and having this amazing success story? He didn't, but it was still a success story in my opinion. He finished with 4,018 hours of deliberate practice in a sport that he had never played before 2010 when he started this. See, he wrote in his last blog post, "I started this journey because I knew I would never forgive myself if I didn't give it a try." And honestly, that's what I'm doing here. I knew I would never forgive myself if I didn't give this a try. And I would encourage you to look at what you want to do in your life. What would you regret if you didn't give it a shot? Number 2, honesty. If you're not honest with yourself, you won't be honest with your viewers. One of the most exciting changes I'm seeing on YouTube is the focus on honesty. And I'm not saying all YouTubers have been lying to us this whole time. Rather, I think they've been lying to themselves. For many content creators, they were making videos that they thought the algorithm would pick up versus speaking from personal experience and sharing their story. I'm sure we can all be guilty of this as well. Oscar Wilde once said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is taken." This quote drives home the importance of not trying to be someone else. Share your own personal experiences and point of view. Let's get honest. I desperately want to be a good cinematographer. Somebody like Life of Riza, who can take a seemingly boring topic like creating your daily planner in Notion and turning it into a story, something that engages you through 10 minutes about her day. That's something I want. She's a blessing to YouTube. And I want that too. But if I waited till I had all the tricks and all the editing and I knew all of the different features that I needed from my camera, this video would probably take a few more years. And I may never even have done it. So I just pressed publish and I got started. When you look for advice to solve a problem, usually you'll look for someone who appears to have credibility in that field. In the finance industry, traditionally this credibility came in the form of college degrees, certifications, professional licenses, and years of experience. In my 20s, I started an insurance agency and got licensed to sell insurance and financial services. Even though I had a college degree in business and economics and had all the licenses, including the Series 6 to sell financial products, I still felt like an imposter, telling people what to do with their money when I had none of my own. YouTube's changing the way we value experience. It's showing in your suggested video feed. This opens the door for people like yourself and me who might have decades worth of mistakes that we're willing to share with others that might help benefit them. One of the best things about being honest on YouTube is you never have to remember what lie that you told the world. As it relates to honesty, in a recent survey it showed consumers are experiencing influencer fatigue, a term used to describe when audiences get tired of seeing repetitive influencer content. It's a major driving factor for this shift. 86% stated that they are more likely to trust a brand that publishes user-generated content. Basically, they want to know that you actually use it, like it, and not just because you get paid to push it. In 2022, a survey of viewers say YouTube ranks first amongst video platforms in finding truthful information and feeling good about their purchases. One survey participant said, YouTubers often give updates on how the product is doing 3, 6, or 12 months after purchasing. And they also will warn you about things to look out for, which I think is really cool. And that's definitely something I've looked for in buying camera gear or buying electronics. I want to know what the experience is, and down the road, was there any problems that came up? When you're honest with yourself, that makes it easier for the viewers to be honest with themselves. The beautiful thing that can happen when both sides are honest with themselves, they can let go of any ego that might get in the way of actual progress. Number 3, integrity. Keep promises to yourself so you can keep promises to your audience. Are you seeing a trend here? Interestingly, it's often easier to keep promises to others than it is to keep them for ourselves. How many times have you told yourself you'd start that side hustle and didn't? But then your friend called and asked for help to start his business and you jumped on board and helped him out. On YouTube, I see integrity playing a critical role in earning ability for content creators. One example of this is affiliate marketing. The concept of affiliate marketing is promoting a product or service that you believe in and ideally use. When you can align on products that you would recommend even to your mom, then it becomes much easier to make promises to your audience. People aren't dumb and can see right through it. So if you can set integrity bar really high to begin with, it makes it easier later on. The same is true for sponsorships, and I'm pleased to see many YouTubers decline lucrative sponsorship deals because it doesn't align with their brand. As the content creator gets a larger following, it'll be harder for them to say no if they haven't already set that integrity bar really high in the early days. For me, I've always had a hard time keeping promises for myself. I would show up for anyone but myself. I'm changing that. Going forward, this YouTube channel, I will be keeping promises to myself. And in turn, that will allow me to make promises that I can keep for you. This is the new wave coming to YouTube. It's going to be full of content creators who are honest with themselves and with their viewers, who can keep promises to themselves and their audience, and allow others to be the hero in the story, just like I saw myself as the hero in the Dan Plan. A long time ago, I discovered that in order to learn something, to really deeply learn it, is to teach it. So you just research something, break it down into bite-sized, understandable pieces, and provide it to somebody else in the form of teaching, and you'd learn it yourself. It's basically what we're doing on YouTube. I don't have to have all the answers. In fact, I don't. But what I realize is it's never too late to start a new pursuit in life. Thanks, Dan. See, this video, it's not about me. The video is about you, and this channel is about you. I'm going to be sharing more about business, personal finance, growth, all through the lens of my own experiences, my own mistakes I've made throughout the years. And I'm hoping that it can turn it into maybe some small wins for you. Speaking of small wins, learn about Kelsey. Kelsey has a really interesting story about becoming an entrepreneur from a nurse and having one of her largest launches with a little bit of help from maybe somebody you know.